Thanks for watching the Council in Brief. I'm Susan Kennedy. We're here with a complete summary of all the news for the Montgomery County Council for this fourth week in March. Montgomery County is the largest jurisdiction in the state of Maryland and has been for the past 10 years, but when it comes to funding from the state, the county size rarely comes into play. The council has been lobbying hard for extra dollars this year, and lawmakers are also pushing that the maintenance of effort provision is deferred to prevent the county from being penalized.
It's clear to us that things are getting really complicated. They have 3 weeks to go, and so now's the time for these really serious conversations to take place in terms of how Annapolis is going to end up balancing its budget. MOE is definitely on the table, but how we get there is going to be really difficult. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I think the best thing that I could have done is something that I did do, which was to show up and to speak on behalf of the council as its president, which is not usually done. And so these were really important conversations for me as a council president to have, but I can tell you that we will have many more to come over the next 20 days. So there is no news right now. It's just that we're beginning the push to get to the end. And Montgomery County is in a very precarious situation because so many of the other counties in the state want to take from us because they believe we have so much. But we're not the old Montgomery County with so much. We're actually really struggling.
Speaker Bush has been very amenable to understanding the challenges that we're facing regarding maintenance of effort. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that same collaboration on the Senate side, and so I know that the county executive and the council president are trying to meet with President Miller to make sure that he understands how important it is and to open this bill up. It really is something that's corrective, and I think that it has statewide implications. We understand that it affects Montgomery County the most, but the key is that this is statewide implications about something that's right. This bill was crafted in such a way that encompassed a lot of mistakes, and I think that this is just a corrective action bill to make sure that we get ourselves back on track, protecting education, but at the same time making sure that we're protecting our jurisdictions to be able to support education.
In other news, the council held a work session on the recommendations made by the Organizational Reform Commission. The commission was made up of members appointed by both the county executive and the council. Each member had experience in reform in the government or private sector. Council Vice President Roger Berliner gave us his thoughts on the report and the recommendations that are on the table.
It definitely was time well spent. They worked very hard and they looked at our county government and they said, here are areas where we think we can be more efficient and hopefully save some dollars. And they came forward with a lot of recommendations. And what you heard today was our council basically saying, we agree, we want to support this kind of work, and we urge our county executive to embrace this as well. And I think you're seeing a great deal of common ground in terms of how to assure our public at this moment in time, when our fiscal situation is as difficult as it is, that we are trying to find ways to serve them more efficiently and with more cost effectiveness.
Recently, an assessment requested by officials found that some at-risk Latino youth in Montgomery County felt their needs were not being met. This prompted County Executive Ike Leggett to bring county leaders together to come up with a set of recommendations and action steps to improve the quality of life for Latino youth.
To me, the one recommendation that jumps out the most, and it's one that I've been on record as supporting, is this whole notion of schools as community hubs, which I call community schools. And I know we did some work with the Kennedy Cluster Project to begin to go down that road. I think that we have a lot of lessons learned there, and we can use that as a template. But to me, that is one area that hopefully when we get a new superintendent, we can begin conversations with the board about moving forward with schools as community hubs, as places where families feel they can come for services, for classes, etc. in the evening, a place where you feel that the community can come and find whatever resources they might need. To me, that's the most important one, and it's one that I hope I can work to promote.
Well, that does it for this edition of the Council in Brief. Be sure to tune in again next week for all the council's news. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for tuning in.